Lekker, boys.
Move over this way.
man.
Move over this way.
Move over this
Right,
way.
man.
Move over this way.
Cheers. We're having some brannas.
Oh, it's like a pre-game ritual
Yeah.
in South Africa.
South Africa. It's the last game of the
Round robin.
The pre-playoffs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of the
Pre-playoffs.
normal
Of the
rounds.
normal season, like
Before
they
the
say in
playoffs.
America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last week, two more. There's one more week after this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
The second last week.
Do we have another home game
Early
next week?
autumn. We're wearing sort of short sleeve, but I'm wearing long pants.
That's going to change
Yeah.
soon, though.
Yeah.
We're drying some boerewors in the background. It's a bit. You can see
Beautiful.
the smoke coming out of my head.
Yeah, in beautiful Pretoria,
Yes.
of course.
Yeah.
And we're here to watch the Blue Bulls and
Glasgow.
Glasgow.
Warriors.
Glasgow Warriors. Yes.
gonna be tight.
Someone said that we might suffer a defeat.
Yeah.
I'm scared. I'm a bit worried, and purely only not because I think Glasgow are amazing, but
Why am I doing this?
I don't know.
Because Kurt Lee broke his thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Yeah. So Moody's at fullback.
Yes. Kane Moody.
Yeah. Moody.
Yeah.
Moody,
What
yeah.
happened to what's his name? That used to play fullback for us for a season. Creel.
Oh, they're still around, but they play Currie Cup.
David
Yeah,
Clear.
they've been relegated.
They've been relegated.
Good.
So Verity M is in. He has to have the best
Yeah,
game.
James Verity.
He's got very good energy. He reminds me a little bit of Werner Cook.
Is he playing 14?
He's playing wing now, yeah. Kanan
okay.
Moody moved to fullback.
I wonder if
So,
Canon Moody has any experience at fullback. I don't know.
I assume he does. He's very tall, and he's amazing under the high ball.
It's like 20.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to rip into Glasgow now. I was just saying that they're a good team, but I just think that the Bulls are a little bit.
Yeah, but
Unless
I'm worried.
unless it clicks with the Bulls,
Yeah.
I haven't been as convinced by them as I'd like to be. Let's
Yeah,
put
but
it
I'm
that
worried
way.
because it was a bit of a reality check against the Stormers.
Yeah.
I'm worried about that.
Yeah.
I'm worried that they're gonna.
Bulls will have to improve. I like the changes that we made. I like Kyle Brink a lot, but he loses the ball too much.
Is,
Arno
is Botha in for
Botha
him?
is in.
That's beautiful.
And Bournemouth Stone is starting.
Starting.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Don't. You shouldn't try too many
Don't do
flashy
any.
things.
Yeah, no
Kicks
no
to the wings
cross
and that
kicks,
sort of
yeah,
cross
thanks.
kicks.
I
and stuff.
like it. I like backing Chris Smith because you know what, he created 2 tries for us last week.
Yeah.
He's kicking for post was a bit all over the place, and I like having Mornay on the bench.
Yeah.
I think it's a good replacement to have, but either way, you're much of a muchness.
Yeah. Looking forward to the game.
Yes,
Yes. Gonna have a lekker boerie, having a brandy.
little slutty, as Farney
Yes.
calls it.
Yeah.
Anyway, boys,
Okay.
enjoy.
Cheers. Okay. Don't always have to start with saying okay. Cheers.
But I mean, it's a good. You've got like. Good evening, America.
It's got a whole vocabulary.
There's a whole bunch.
Yes.
I mean, okay, that's your thing.
Oh,
It's okay.
it's okay. Oh, we've had an awesome weekend of rugby.
Yes.
It was really, really cool to be so close to the playoff places. Like every match has so much meaning.
Yeah.
And even the games that don't involve the South African teams, it has an impact on our position on the log and stuff. So
Yeah.
for the Bulls and the other South African teams. So yeah, we started. We were at Loftus on
On Friday night.
and it's awesome on the grandstand.
Yeah.
Second tier, you can see the whole field from up there. Had a beer in our seats. It was a fantastic evening. 7 o'clock kickoff, perfect weather.
Like you said, it was an important game as well. The Glasgow Warriors are above us,
Yes.
and we're looking to overtake them,
Yes.
and Edinburgh, and possibly Ulster as well. So
yeah.
there's so much at stake at the moment. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it didn't feel like the Bulls were playing according to that
Yeah.
high standard that was required.
Well, they say quality teams still win the match when they're not at their best. And it was definitely an evening where I thought too many aimless kicks, kicking away quality ball on the attack.
Too many mistakes.
Too many mistakes. Yet again, not convincing at the ruck, lost good ball at the ruck, made
Yeah.
mistakes at ruck time, lost some of our lineouts. It was a bit of a mess, but when it was at crucial times, we scored a few good tries.
Yeah, it actually felt like we weren't playing rugby until we scored a try.
Yes.
Like the rest of the time, it was sort of. And I thought Glasgow as well was a little bit
Yeah.
indifferent as well. They
Also kicked a few
half
balls out on the full.
yeah.
Yeah.
Knocking the ball on.
Yes.
Lots of turnovers.
Yeah, like if the Bulls had an off day, they had an off day as
They
well.
also had a very off
I
day.
assume it's the conditions again. It must have been a little bit tricky for them, playing at altitude and so forth.
We were saying during the game that this is probably
Yeah.
the first time a lot of them have ever played
Mm.
on the Highveld. So
Yes.
you know,
We missed Kurt Lee. We missed his edge at the back.
yeah, I think he's been the difference over the last
Yeah.
8 weeks.
Yeah. So they put in Kanan Moody at fullback and James Verity. I thought was lively.
Yeah,
Been unlucky with one or two things. Mornay Steyn kicked on him twice, and it left him a little bit isolated.
yeah,
And he just couldn't find the link. There were a few times where I thought that the support runners actually just, the timing was a little bit off. There wasn't enough time to actually give the pass. They ran very good lines, but they just couldn't get that pass away to those guys, and once it was even obstruction. Yeah, and then
yeah. But coming back to Mornay Steyn,
yeah,
it's like you keep saying, it's like
yeah.
all he wants to do is get that cross kick try.
That perfect kick. Yes.
And speaking of that, their fly off. I mean, the Glasgow Warriors fly off. What's his name?
I'm not sure what his name is.
I'll check his
actually.
name, but
Yeah.
that guy was poor.
Yeah. No, he didn't have a
So,
good
like,
day.
sorry,
either.
but he was
Yeah. not a good
very
game.
very poor.
Yeah. Yeah, but they pulled it through and they scored the fourth try, and a good try by Madosh Tambwe, and Carl Brink scored a good try close to the maul.
Yeah,
So a good day in the end. Good day out and a good day for the Bulls. I mean, 5 points is never a bad day.
no, that's never a bad day.
Yeah.
And so for the Bulls now to go through, if they want to finish, I think, fourth,
Mm.
then we need to beat the Ospreys and
Yes. And one of the Irish teams need
Ulster
to lose.
Ulster will need to lose the following week.
Yes.
No, they need to beat the Sharks.
Oh, I see. And that also.
So we're currently ahead of Ulster,
yeah.
but Ulster
The Sharks have the most difficult game going
Yeah.
back. I think it's on the 20th of May that the next game week starts.
Yeah, but we'll chat about the Sharks just now.
Just now. Okay.
Lions and Benetton, almost similar to
Yeah.
the game against Benetton's game against us. They played very well in
Yeah.
the first half,
Slow start.
and the Lions sort of came back.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Fought back well.
I will say that Benetton, out of all, between the Welsh and the Scottish teams, now this Italian team, they actually looked the best. They looked like
Yeah.
they could actually play.
They look close to, I think, one or two big signings can make a big change for them,
Yeah.
because the style that they play and the positive way that they play attacking rugby
Yeah,
is very refreshing.
and not a lot of errors.
No.
Like I feel like the Welsh and the Scottish teams
Yeah.
make a lot of errors. Like
Yes.
they almost make it too easy at times.
Yeah.
Here, over there, it's a different story. I
Yeah.
just mean here. I think Benetton toured well.
Yeah, so they just ran
Even
out of
though they
steam.
lost,
You
yeah.
know, they just ran out of steam, and the Lions. They've got a few very good guys. I like those Chatuka brothers. I thought Hendricks had a very good game at fly off again. He marshalled the game well, and
Yeah, those brothers look
yeah,
proper.
both of them actually look good.
Yeah,
So yeah, good for the Lions. I mean, they're not going to make it into the playoffs,
yeah.
but
they
at
had
least
a good run.
their home games they did quite well.
Yeah, they
losing
only
to
lost
Connacht
one.
last week was a bit of a downer.
Then the Connacht game against the Sharks
Yes.
it was
Well,
it
it's
was
slow
touch,
start
touch
again.
and go, but they look good. I mean, even when the Sharks started scoring tries, Connacht doesn't just give up.
Mm-mm.
They're a tough team.
Yes.
I mean, they're bottom of the log for the Irish teams,
Yes.
but they are by no means poor.
No.
They are very, very professional
Yeah.
and disciplined.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, a good game and very exciting game to watch, because it was a close game again. And
Yeah.
yes, Apalele Fassi. I mean, that guy.
That guy's
Unbelievable.
he must be the
Like,
replacement.
I don't
for
know where
Willie.
he finds the gaps.
Mm.
Like, you just get any ball that's a little bit loose and the defensive line hasn't been organized yet. That guy just, those long strides, it's amazing to see. We need to see a guy like that in a Springbok jersey making those runs. Just clean breaks. Everyone loves, that's why we love rugby, is to see those clean breaks. A fullback and a wing, just in space.
Yeah.
And
And he does the basics well as well. So
yes.
takes
No,
the high
he's-
balls, etc.
He's great at everything. I mean, his defense is very good.
Yeah.
But worried about injuries. I saw he had heavy strapping
Yeah.
on and stuff like that, but it didn't stop him. Vanderkoek a little bit more quiet. Cohen Bosch Goal kicking wasn't great, but
Did you see that stat? Connacht and the Sharks
Yeah.
are the two teams with the worst goal kicking stats. That's not something that you want on your record.
No, you need
Cohen
to.
Bosch has to turn that around.
Maybe they should try and take that pressure off him and sign a proper fullback goal kicker or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or a scrum half who can kick at goal like
Rowan
Rory
Pienaar.
Crockett back in the day, or
Yeah.
a Ruan Pienaar or something. Because he's gaining confidence. He's looking better.
Yeah.
It's like the same running style as Fussy.
Yeah.
Tall guy, big strides, very quick off the mark.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not really a Favre's job, but he looks good.
Yeah.
Looks better than he used to.
Definitely.
And an extremely important win for them, obviously, as well.
Yeah, and it's. I think it was a bit of a. So I mean, Connacht hasn't lost to a South African team this season. Just shows you the
Yes.
quality of that team. The Sharks made a little bit of a statement there.
Yes. Yeah, and they lost the captain early on, Thomas de Toey, and I actually thought that Nkunu played his best game
Yes.
for the Sharks yet. He's also very good on defence. He carried well, scrummed a lot better.
His carries were. He made a lot of. He broke the gain line.
Yes.
Yeah.
The one to watch for the future, I think. I mean, poor guy. I mean, he's quite young and stuff, and we were hard on him last week, but he put his hand up this week and really took that place well. And Gerbrand Grobler had a good game, and I thought we have to mention Leroux Roots. Yes, see that guy.
The lock.
The lock.
He is a beast.
A huge man,
Yeah.
and he makes meters every
Yeah.
single time. He's
And
got guys
he's aggro.
hanging off him, and he just carries on going.
And he's got a moustache.
Yeah, and he scored a good try. He makes Siya Kolisi look like a dwarf when he stood next to him.
Yeah.
Huge guy. And they gave a bit of his background. They say he went through a bad patch. When they bought him, they didn't want to give him game time because he had to lose weight. He was way too big. I don't know how big he was.
Must have been very large.
So he went onto a fitness regime, and he changed his diet, and he's actually playing at the highest level.
Yeah.
So good for him. Had a great game.
I'd be curious to know what the Irish fans think, though, about, like we think about, perhaps we think about the Lions the way they think about Connacht. They like it's their weaker team.
Yeah.
Whether they think, well, maybe the Sharks aren't as strong as we think they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a very, very tough match for the Sharks to go to Ulster, play against Ulster away.
It's going to be very tough.
That seems very hectic.
Yeah.
Because Ulster played well when they came here. They were unlucky against the Stormers, and they came a little bit undone against us.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's a good team.
They just look different. We're gonna get to Ulster. I don't know if you watched it. I watched Ulster.
Munster.
Sorry, in Edinburgh.
Edinburgh, yes.
Very good rugby match, but the conditions and everything, those synthetic pitches and stuff, it just looks and feels completely different. It's a different way of playing the game over
completely
there.
different.
And that Ben Whitehouse was the referee again, so there were some interesting calls again. But we're going to get to that game just now. And the top of the table clash was the Stormers Leinster.
Stormers Leinster, and Leinster. I mean, it's a second-rate
Yes.
Leinster team, but they don't look it.
No, they don't. No.
They're so like
shows their depth as well.
Yeah, they just don't give up.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have won, they could have drawn it in the end.
Yeah. It reminds me of sort of like the way the Germans play football. It's precision.
And
the passes, they don't. The passes aren't here, or the passes are there. The running lines just all look perfect. It all looks good.
Yeah.
They only kick to a guy on the wing when he is actually in space.
Yes.
And that sort of thing. And like you say, it's second stringers, and they just look.
It doesn't feel
very
like
good.
any of them are superstars, but somehow they are just like so like as a unit.
Yes.
They're just
You
amazing.
should stop praising Leinster week on week.
I know, it's just
but they are damn good.
They are really good.
Yeah. That was a lucky game. It was a proper test match. It was.
I think with their players coming back, I think that the Stormers' only hope, unfortunately, is for someone else to knock Leinster off by some fluke, like a red card or whatever, and then they lose.
Well,
But
the way
I
it is
can't see
now,
them
the
losing it,
Bulls will play Leinster. No, actually not. No, the Bulls will play either Ulster or Munster or somewhere there.
which is pretty bad.
It looks like we're gonna go that way. We're gonna go.
We might. We can. I think
north.
we can still
Yes.
get a home quarter-final maybe.
Yes.
But from there it's going to be ugly.
Yeah. So and then it was. I want to mention Zebre. beat the Dragons.
The
I
Dragons.
didn't watch the game. I only saw the score, but very happy for them.
Yeah.
You don't want to carry on with such a long losing streak
Yeah.
in a competition like this. It's not nice for anyone. So they managed to. They've been playing better and better every week, and they beat the Dragons. I think it was 23-16 or 23-17 or something like that.
Well done, Zebre.
So happy for them. And then I specifically watched, even though it was late and I was tired, I specifically watched Edinburgh Ulster, and a cracking match, a great game. It ended 16-10, but Edinburgh was on the attack so much in the last 10-15 minutes, and they just could not get through. And there were a few weird decisions where I thought they were a little bit unlucky, where they were on the attack, and it was that the weird thing. You see it with that Adamson ref, and with Nika Amashukeli and Ben Whitehouse, is the amount of penalties they give on the attack.
Yeah.
For guys sealing over and stuff. And it happens so much, and they only give it when the team is like 5 meters out. And then it happens in the middle of the field and nothing happens. Because it happens so much in a rugby match.
It's a bit negative.
And there's no consistency, because they sort of just give it when the guys are on the attack. And you don't see that in Super Rugby. I watched Super Rugby this week, and the guys don't get penalised at ruck time on the attack unless it is absolutely glaring, like a guy running from 10 metres and diving.
It's funny watching Super Rugby now.
Yeah.
Now that we've watched a lot of
URC.
United Rugby Championship,
Yeah.
because suddenly you see those things. You see like a Crusaders player flying past the ruck
Yes, nothing happens.
to protect his ball,
Yeah.
like, and from the side and whatever, and like lying on his back on,
Yeah.
on like 2 meters on
You
their
don't
side.
see penalties to the attacking team at ruck time. I don't. Obviously, it's part of the law. You're not allowed to do those things. But for some reason, it's just become the culture in Super Rugby that you don't penalise the attacking
Yeah,
team
but
at
I
ruck
mean, is
time.
that good? Like, there should be consistency.
There should be consistency. Maybe
uniformity.
we're wrong. Maybe it's just what we used to.
Yeah.
But
Maybe it's just that's ill discipline. as well.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
maybe it's dangerous. Like, do you really want guys
Yeah.
flying past?
But I don't see consistency. I see it happen, and immediately after that, and then they don't blow it again. So it's difficult. But I was rooting for Edinburgh. Yes, it was. And the South Africans, Jaco van der Walt, and so had a very good game. Dwayne Vermeulen as well. But unfortunately, Edinburgh couldn't do us the favour. So Ulster jumped a few places
Yeah,
on
what
the
does
log
that
again.
do? What is it? I'm going to quickly see what that does to the...
Ulster took one of the top spots. So Stormers and Sharks, I think, are 4th and 5th, and the Bulls are 6th, something like that.
Yeah, Ulster is 5th then. Yes.
Yeah.
And Ulster has to play the Sharks at home.
Yeah.
So we're going to end up below them.
Yeah, so 3-4 Ulster jumped the Bulls. Yes, that's what happened.
So we need the
Yeah.
Sharks to do it. Either way, we're going to end up below all these teams.
There's no chance of ending top 4 almost.
I thought that Edinburgh might sneak it against Ulster, but they
Yeah.
didn't.
And then we just briefly mentioned that we did watch a little bit of Super Rugby Pacifica, and it was we still watched the guys on the breakdown getting a bit upset about the quality of the New Zealand teams last week, and so I took the time. All of us took the time to actually watch a bit of Super Rugby, and there were a few upsets. The Waratahs beat the Crusaders
narrowly.
Yeah,
But for me, the big upset there was where is
the
that?
Brumbies smashed the Hurricanes.
Brumbies smashed the Hurricanes 42-25.
25. Yeah.
That's big. I mean,
Yes.
and you see that the Samoans appear to be
Yeah.
I'm
extremely
playing
happy
the
for
Rebels
those
close.
guys. Yeah.
And the Fiji, I enjoyed the Fijian
Yeah.
draw and the Highlanders game.
Yes.
That was close. I think the Fijians aren't far
Yeah.
off there.
They lost by like 3 points or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blues narrowly beating the Force.
Yes. Which wouldn't have happened in the past.
Yeah.
They would have smashed the Force.
Chiefs narrowly beating the Reds as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's difficult to say. I mean, you can never say that an All Blacks team will be weak, but those guys are worried. And we watched the games, and I thought it was a little bit close.
Yeah.
And they even lost a few games. They
But
lost 2 games. So
What is that up to? Is it the Aussie teams that are maybe getting better? I don't know.
I think if you're not playing strong teams week in, week out, you drop your own level.
Yeah.
You throw the ball around more.
We see it with the Bulls.
Yes.
I mean, nothing against
Glasgow.
a lot of these teams, but I felt like
They
against
try too many silly
Glasgow,
things.
against the Welsh teams,
No.
it's like they just believe they're going to win it.
Yeah, you don't keep it tight. You try all
Yeah.
these weird things, and that's what the New Zealanders do. And then they almost don't do the basics anymore.
Yeah.
And I saw that's why where the All Blacks got unstuck against Ireland and France last year. So it's going to be interesting, and they believe there should be a big change. So we're going to keep an eye on that as well in the coming weeks. To see what happens. Looking forward to the internationals kicking off and stuff in July.
But first, looking forward, obviously,
To the playoffs.
To the playoffs.
Yeah. Bit of a break now for a couple of weeks.
Why is that, I wonder?
Just the
rest.
travel time and stuff,
Yeah.
and which is probably a good thing management-wise. Yeah.
Yeah, player management.
So we have to watch a bit of Curry Cup.
What is that?
Yes. Cheers. Like a braai.
Yeah.